Hi, and welcome to episode 3 of the Maddfuzzy Podcast. I am your host, Marta, and I am coming to you today from Knox, Maine, where I live with my handsome man and our 2 wonderful dogs. You can find me on social media. I am most active on Instagram. You can find me at Maddfuzzy, or you can email me if you have any questions or comments, maddfuzzy@gmail.com. You can also like this video or subscribe to this channel. I produce a podcast every 2 weeks, so this one is a little bit late, but I'd say what's a day or two in the whole scheme of things, right? I am sitting down and recording, so this is exciting. And you can also join the Ravelry Group. We have a growing Ravelry Group. It is the Maddfuzzy Podcast group. We now currently have 26 members. I can't believe that. That's so exciting. They're from all over, from Europe, from Canada, from the United States. So welcome to all 26 of you. I hope there will be many more. I love hearing or reading your introductions. They're phenomenal. Thank you so much for taking the time to share a little bit about yourself and your knitting and where you're from. I love it. We are at 16 introductions. I had said in the last couple of episodes that we were going to have a giveaway at 100, and that is still going strong. I just have not yet settled on the prize. It will be a skein of Maddfuzzy. I am excited to dye a special colorway for that giveaway. I just haven't yet. So you will be seeing it. Hopefully when I do the big reveal, we'll get a few more introductions in that thread. But we are working towards 100 very quickly. I'm actually really surprised. So thank you very much, those 16 that introduced themselves. I appreciate them so much. I've read every single one. I love it. It's just wonderful. I can have knitting friends all over the world, and I never even have to leave my couch or my knitting. So that's fantastic. So thank you so much. I guess I have kind of a normal episode for you. Lots of socks. I did finish some socks. Spoiler alert. I did cast on some socks, which is very exciting. And a cliffhanger for you. I tried something new. So we'll get right into that. We'll start with my first finished object. First finished object, as you probably can guess, they were so close, is those 80s socks. Look at these. Oh, aren't they just phenomenal? I just love them. Ah. And they are not matching. My 70s kitchen socks from the first episode, those were matching. For some weird reason. I never plan, but for some weird reason, I did the cuffs long enough that I got right back into a whole repeat, and they were perfectly matching. These, not perfectly matching, but I don't really care too much. So I really thought about these socks as far as what I wanted to wear this winter. I am participating in the Box of Socks Cal. So when it is the 1st of July, 2018, I will have a whole box of unworn, amazing socks. So I did think about my winter wear with these. So I'll scoot forward here, let you take a look here. I did a very long cuff. This is much longer than my usual cuff, as you can see. I did a very long leg. Let's scoot this back a little bit here. My traditional heel flap and gusset heel, and then I do a pointed toe where I decrease consistently over the stitches. So I'll do a row of decreases, a row without, a row of decreases until I get down to 12, and then I Kitchener. So I guess that's kind of a pointed heel or pointed toe. It's not a rounded toe. I do hope to try new toe constructions. That's going to be fun, trying new things, but that's not the new thing I tried this week. So these are my finished 80s socks. I am just so excited. This is the Diamond Select Footsie I got for Christmas. They are 60 stitches on 2.5 millimeter DP ends, and they are a little bit small, but I'm hoping through wear that'll prove to be actually a good thing, that they're not going to get sucked down inside my boots, because I live in rubber boots. So that is my first finished object. So I have been doing what I am calling hashtag memory sock garland. So I am doing a tiny sock of all the finished big socks I've done. So you can probably guess, I've got my mini 80s sock. Isn't that the cutest thing ever? Look at it. Let's see if I can't get it to focus here. Oh my God, it's so cute. Oh. So these are all going to go on a big garland. I'm going to hang them, and then I'll have a memory of every sock that I knit. Isn't that exciting? So if you want to participate, use the hashtag Memory Sock Garland. Most active on Instagram again. And I want to see your mini socks. I make these mini socks exactly 1/2 of my regular sock. So, well, maybe that's a lie. Actually, I do them 30 stitches. So I just kind of cut a 60 stitch sock in half and make it. I do on DPNs, but I may be doing them a little differently because I got hooked on something else. See, I keep alluding at this this surprise. I'm gonna do it last, just to make you stick around and see what I did. So this again, tiny little sock. Look at that little thing. It's so cute. And that'll be added to my #memory sock garland. So I have a couple of works in progress. I have done a lot of casting on. I've done a little bit of work. This is not a new cast on. I showed this in my very first episode, and it was just a cuff. So there's the cuff. But now I have gotten a little bit further. This is, let's get a little closer here. This is the Mercury Sock. And it just creates this gorgeous lace pattern. I did it. I took the dive. I took the plunge. I'm loving it. I think the real trick for me, I am not very good at reading lace knitting. I would get lost on which row I was on and whatnot. So I took the pattern, I put it into my Knit Companion app on my phone, and I just moved the little cursor up and down. And the phone worked perfectly because, you know, a dog bumps, you know, pattern, I have a line on it or whatnot, it falls off and I have no idea where I am. But with the Knit Companion, I can close and open the app and the line stays exactly where I was. So I've been able to, you know, do my row repeats. It's a 4-row repeat, I believe. Maybe it's 5. I think it's a 5-row repeat. And I've been able to keep track thanks to my cell phone and technology. So then again, Mercury Socks. So this is Manos de Uruguay in their Alegria base. It's their sock base. It's superwash wool and polyamide blend, but the colorway, it's turning out kind of self-striping. I'm loving it. I don't know if anyone out there is a Game of Thrones fan, but I'm kind of thinking these sort of look like the wall. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan. I'm getting so excited. That is just around the corner. But I digress. So the blue Mercury socks, and I'm cranking right away. This is really all I want to work on. It's nice to have a bunch of projects you really want to work on. This is the first one that I just keep picking up, and one more repeat, just one more repeat. And I get to the end of it, oh, just one more repeat, and it's growing so quickly. I have decided, though, a holy sock is not going to be so great, you know. So what I'm going to do the lace for the top and you know, the cuff and the leg, and then when I do the foot, I'm going to switch to straight stockinette, so that it'll be a little bit more like a traditional sock when it's actually in my shoe, and then I'll have this gorgeous lace pattern outside of it. So that's my evil plan with that. And that is living in my adorable camper's bag. I love this bag. So that's that. So my next work in progress is, I'll talk about the yarn a little bit first because I haven't gotten very far on it, and I'm not loving it. So I bought this yarn a while ago at Hobby Lobby. I was in Helena, Montana, and believe it or not, there is not a really amazing yarn store there. So I was like, I need to buy yarn. I'm out of sock. I had finished a sock. I need other socks. So we went and bought some really cheap sock yarn. But this kind of caught my eye. It is called, here we go, Wool-Free Sock. And it is 93% acrylic, 7% PBT. I'm not exactly sure what a PBT is. Maybe a peanut butter turtle? I don't know. But it's not wool. It's this weird, stretchy, spandexy thing. I had issues winding it with my ball winder. I am using DPNs again. These are my knit picks. No, these are my Knit Pro Zings. I ordered them from Europe. They're like the knit picks of Europe, and I love them. And you want to know why I love them? Because they are color-coded. All of my carbons are the same color. I have to get out a gauge to make sure they're all the same size, because in black carbon fiber and silver tip, a 2.5 really looks like a 2.25. You know, I'm not that good at testing and whatnot. So I love that they color code these. I know I have a full set of needles when I cast these on. So this is, let's get the string behind here. This is the sock that I am going to be giving, come on baby, focus for me, there we go. This is the sock I'm going to be giving to my dear sweet boyfriend whenever I get them done, because they are really weird feeling. It's like stretchy. I'm hoping it'll be a long wearing sock for him that's easy to wash, but we'll see. We might have to cast him on some nicer wool, because I do love him very much, and if I don't enjoy making the socks, he'll never get them. So one more time here, I'm going to play with my focus game here. So there we go. Isn't that pretty? I like the pattern that's happening. It's really nice. So I don't think I've ever shown this bag. It's living in my all-time favorite bag. I got this for Christmas for myself. This is a Twisted Daisy Fibers bag. She can be found on Etsy. And it was Christmas, and it was my Christmas Eve cast-on bag. And it's the Gashly Crumbs. And I just love the size of this bag. It's got a nice big handle. You know, it's a nice square bottom bag. But my favorite part of it is on the back. I don't know if you can see. There's Heathcliff. And there's me. I think they look so much like us. So, I love this bag. It's holding that one. So, for my final work in progress and the big reveal and surprise, I went with my friend Brittany to Yard Goods, which is a rather large yarn store in Waterville, Maine. I did not expect them to have such a nice collection. They had all the brands. They had things I had never seen before. They have some locally produced yarns. They need some Maddfuzzy, I'll tell you what, though. Chatted with the lady for a while. I hope to go back with some samples eventually. But I saw Opel. I have never knit with Opel, and I have searched for Opel high and low. It is not carried in a lot of the yarn stores in my area, and so it would be really expensive to order it online and ship it from Europe, but I really wanted to try it. I really like Regia, so they had Opel, and so of course that was all I bought. I just grabbed a skein of Opel, and I also went there to buy a long circular needle for Magic Loop. I wanted to try it. I wanted to see what all the magic was about, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So I'm calling these my Avengers Socks. The label, it's mostly in German, and I don't speak German, but there's the yarn label. It's supposed to look like this. Is painting? I have no idea what this painting is, but I think they look like the Avengers. So let's take a look here. So we've got Iron Man, Captain America, the Hulk. So I'm going to call them my Avengers Socks. And I am making some serious progress. Look at this. And this is a cable, because I am rocking Magic Loop. I am loving it. There's no fiddly needles. The cast on is so easy. You know, you cast on all your stitches and whoop. The middle, there's no transferring stitches. There's no connecting. There's no twisting. I'm hooked. I'm so hooked. I love it. We'll see how much I love it when I get done with the sock. And if I do, I'm buying more needles. I want to try the Hayas. I want to try Chowgoos. I mean, I just opened, a huge rabbit hole of circular needle choices now that I had never even thought of, because I was DPNs all the way. I'm going to be a DPN girl forever, and I don't think I'm going to be a DPN girl forever. I love them. It's so easy. I'm never going to lose a needle again. I'm never going to need to know if they're all the same size needle, because they're freaking attached to each other. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. My life has been changed this week. And I just want to keep picking this up and knitting on it. It's been coming with me everywhere because I'm not going to lose a needle. It's phenomenal. It's freaking phenomenal. I'm so happy. So these are these. I tried them on my friend the other day. He came over. Usually I do a 72 stitch sock. This is a 64 stitch sock. I do a 72 for men. And he really liked them. And I'm going to need to knit him a pair of socks for Christmas this year anyways. I knit his girlfriend a pair of socks last year, so I promised him this year his Christmas gift would be socks. He really liked them, so there's a piece of me that's like, a little tight's not going to be bad, But then there's a piece of me that's like, be selfish, Marta. You love those socks. You can always buy him more yarn. So we'll see after the heel flap where this goes. So that is my Avengers socks. I'm just loving them. They're so fun. So I had a question in my Ask Me Anything thread. I was so excited for someone to actually ask me a question. So I'm going to answer it here on the podcast. I had been asked about how I weave in my ends. And I replied in the thread. So if you want the actual link to the video I linked and whatnot, it is in the thread. But I wanted to sort of answer it online or on the podcast as well. The lovely woman who asked me the question was Knit to the Stars. So thank you so much, Knit to the Stars, for asking this question. I think it's a good one for sure. So she had asked me how I weave in my ends on socks. I traditionally do socks from the cuff down, so I do have a tail to weave in at the top. I cast on the only way that Betsy taught me how to cast on, which is, I'm assuming it's kind of a knitted cast on. So I make a little slip knot and then I knit the stitches on. And so it's not, I don't have to gauge how much long tail I have. So I don't always have a huge long tail. And I might have done such a good job of weaving this in that I can't even find it. So we're just going to pretend that I have found it. So this is the inside of my sock here. And I run my tail right down these purl stitches right here. And so I will take my darning needle and loop it under 2, and then I'll move over a little bit and do 2, and then move under a bit and do 2. And I can't even find it. I can't even find it on these socks. I did such a good job. But, I mean, I should be able to see it. Well, I did do a really good job. Oh, here it is. So let's get in here. It's right down. I just kind of zigzag it down. And sometimes I'll go a little longer. You know, I really am not too particular if it's going to fall out because socks. I'll have a little tail. I'll weave it back in. No babies will die. So I'm not too particular about it. But if you are particular and you want to know that there is a right and wrong way, the Very Pink Knits, I mean, who hasn't watched one of her tutorials? I'm sure she's taught half the world how to knit by now. She has a great video on weaving in the ends where she shows where you go under one umbrella and then over the other umbrella and whatnot. So there is a exact scientific way. So if you are really wanting to be by the book, go that way. If you want to be, quick and dirty like me, just throw it under a couple purl stitches and put these socks on. So that's how I weave in the ends, just down that little purl ridge on the inside. If I had done a 1x1 or a 2x1, I'd still run it down those purl stitches. And I can't see it at all on the back because it just gets folded under. That's how I weave in ends. And that, thanks Knit to the Stars, that's the answer to that question. Just whatever I can do to get them ready to wear. So I think that comes to the end of the knitting sections. Acquisitions was also a work in progress. So I guess I'll kind of talk about my life in general. So if you just came for the knitting, those were the socks. You can rewind and watch them again if you want. Otherwise, I will continue on with a little bit about my life. So recently, we kind of got on the Handmaiden's Tailboat, and holy smokes, that is a really good show. We're pretty hooked and also terrified at the same time. It does bring up a lot of questions about, the political state of the world and whatnot, and I know that it's sort of a fiction dystopia, but there was a lot of things that were kind of scary. But we're going to keep watching. I can't wait to finish it up because, like I had said, Game of Thrones is starting very soon, and then Rick and Morty is starting up again. So we are going to be watching a lot more TV. Hopefully the cabin will be done, and then we can have time to watch TV. But I really want to do, and this is kind of like a, just a dream, I really would like to dye up a self-striping colorway for myself and for my boyfriend. I would like to do, of course, I am House Targaryen, and he is a Greyjoy, and do our house colors and do a self-striping sock out of those. I think they'd be a lot of fun. So we'll see how much free time I have. If I'm game to wrap up, you know, the wool so I can do a self-striping, and if I have the colors to do it and whatnot, I think I do. And then I have socks to knit on while I'm watching, and I can do, you know, the socks during the run of it. I mean, it's 10 weeks. I should be able to finish 2 pairs of socks, right? Yeah, I should. It'll be a motivating factor to have, you know, our 2 house socks by the end of the year, or by the end of the run of the show. And I think it's maybe the last season. I really hope not. Maybe it's gonna be 2 short ones, but I love that so much. I guess we'll just have to reread the books. When you run out of TV, there's always all those books. So that's what we're looking forward to as far as TV. You'll have noticed that I am not recording on my usual day. This video is a little bit late, and that is because on Monday, which is my usual recording day, we continued building. So we had a big build weekend. We were Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all day out working on the cabin, and we made some serious progress. I'd show you a picture, but the progress was more like fitting and cutting and gluing insulation and putting down the subfloor. So from a picture, it kind of looks exactly the same as it did 2 weeks ago, but a lot has been done. So now we are excited this week, and this weekend we are going to hopefully be putting up the first story walls, and then there's a small loft upstairs. So we're moving along. It's exciting. It really is exciting, and I'm hoping that, you know, our house is straight. That's all you can hope for, right? Or we're going to end up being those crooked little couple in a crooked little house in a crooked little lane. And we're okay with that as well. We just really are excited to have our own place. And we know we can live in that small of a space. It's 20 by 20. We've done smaller. We lived in a camper for a year and drove around the United States. And that was pretty cozy, but now we have 2 dogs instead of 1. So not in any rush to move back into a camper. In a bit of a rush to move into a 20 by 20 cabin, that's for sure. And I'm just excited not to rent anymore. You know, if I want to paint my kitchen hot pink, I will paint my kitchen hot pink. I mean, Heath will probably tell me to paint it something else, but I don't have to get approval from a landlord. I don't have to do any of that. I'm so excited to finally just have my own place. I do understand that, though, if my plumbing explodes, I do now have to deal with that. But I feel after building it, I may know how it works. So it's an ongoing process. I'm so excited to be moving forward this summer, and hopefully by fall, the podcast will have gathered speed, the Maddfuzzy yarn line will have gathered speed, and we will be in a brand new cabin. So that's all a girl can really hope for. So thank you so much for joining me today. I love that I can take a few minutes to talk to you about my knitting. I haven't really talked to anyone about knitting all day, so you guys are the first, and you got it all. I mean, it's been building up. I'm constantly thinking about knitting. Are you constantly thinking about knitting? Because I'm constantly thinking about knitting. And I've got like a queue 1,000,000 miles long of what I want to knit for socks in the future. So we will hopefully get, you know, these to half finished objects before we cast on a whole bunch of new socks. But now that I'm all about the magic loop, I need to buy some more magic loop needles, which means I need to cast on more magic loop socks. So we might just like be in like a whips wading pool here. Oh, so many whips. But I will get through them because I love to knit socks. And I love that you spent a little bit of your day with me. I am just kind of rambling on now. So I'm going to sign off and say thanks for watching. And don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check me out on Instagram. Check me out on Ravelry. And I will see you all in 2 weeks for another fun-filled Maddfuzzy Podcast episode. I hope you have a good one and a great rest of your week. Enjoy your knitting. It's my way down. Winter is coming.